Brain scans show that procrastinators have a larger, more reactive amygdala, the brain's threat detector. They are not lazy. Their brains are physically wired to avoid discomfort more aggressively than most people. There are 8 distinct reasons procrastination happens, and one of them is the reason the other 7 keep coming back. I'll flag it when we get there. 8 reasons. None of them are about willpower. Each one is a different brain mechanism, and each has a specific fix. Task aversion. You open a task you've been avoiding, feel a wave of dread or boredom, and close the tab. 30 seconds later, you're cleaning the kitchen, feeling better, but nothing important got done. That's the loop. Procrastination isn't about avoiding work. It's about avoiding the feeling work creates. Your brain's limbic system reads the task as an emotional threat, signals the prefrontal cortex to defer, and when you escape, the relief confirms the decision. Every time you close that tab, the pattern gets stronger. You're not managing time badly. You're managing your present emotions at the cost of your future. A 2013 study by Pitchell and Sidwa found procrastination is primarily an emotion regulation strategy, and that immediate mood relief, not time, is the top driver. That escape doesn't just feel good. It trains your brain to need it. And the next reason explains exactly why the need grows. Dopamine hijack. You sit down to work, check your phone for 1 second, and spend 40 minutes there. When you put it down, the task feels harder than before. That's not weakness. That's recalibration. Your brain routes attention toward high dopamine sources. Your phone delivers instant, variable hits. A difficult task delivers slow, uncertain ones. Over time, this raises the threshold your brain needs to engage with effortful work. The bar keeps climbing. The problem isn't discipline. Your dopamine baseline has been reset, and real work can't reach it anymore. Get this. When dopamine is chronically overstimulated, the brain loses its ability to generate anticipatory excitement about future rewards. Deep work doesn't just feel harder, it feels neurologically flat. And the next one explains why this gets worse exactly when the stakes are highest. Fear of failure. Studies consistently show self-handicapping procrastination is highest among people with the most fragile self-esteem, not the least motivated. The people most afraid of failing are often the ones least able to start. Something that means nothing to you gets done immediately. Something that means everything to you sits untouched for weeks. The bigger the stakes, the longer the delay. Not starting protects your self-image. If you never finish or never truly begin, poor outcomes can be blamed on lack of time, not lack of talent. The brain treats threats to self-concept as equivalent to physical danger and triggers the same avoidance response. It's not that you care too little. It's that you care too much, and your brain found a way to protect that. But this protection has a cost, and the next one makes it worse. Decision paralysis. You've got a project to start. You spend 45 minutes deciding which tool to use, which order to do things, what the first step even is. By the time you figure it out, you're too drained to begin. When a task lacks a clear starting point or involves too many choices, the prefrontal cortex stalls. The brain detects competing options, activates conflict monitoring circuits, and defaults to inaction. You're not choosing not to work. You're overwhelmed, and your brain is treating ambiguity as a threat. More choices feel like freedom. The brain experiences them as pressure. The paradox of choice, documented by Barry Schwartz, shows that more options produce not better decisions, but more anxiety and less action. The antidote isn't more motivation. It's fewer options. And the next one has nothing to do with the task at all. That's the first 4. The next 4 explain why the first 4 keep coming back. Future self disconnect. When was the last time you actually thought about future you? Not as an idea, but as a real person. You stay up late, skip the gym, ignore the deadline, telling yourself future me will handle it. It feels fine. Because to your brain, that future person isn't quite you. Brain scans show that when people think about their future self, the same regions activate as when thinking about a complete stranger. Offloading onto future, you doesn't feel like self-harm. It feels like handing a burden to someone else. The further away that stranger feels, the easier procrastination becomes. People shown age-progressed photos of their own face saved twice as much for retirement. Familiarity alone changed behavior. And the next reason explains why even when you do care about the future, you still can't figure out where to start. Vague goals. You want to exercise, write, study, or fix the finances. The motivation is real. But when the time comes, you can't figure out where to start, so you don't. The brain cannot act on ambiguity. Get fit or work on my novel stay trapped in the abstract planning layer and never translate into action. A task needs a specific when, where, and how before the brain's execution systems will engage. Motivation isn't the issue. Clarity is. The goal wasn't the problem. The execution path was missing. The number here is uncomfortable. Adding a specific when, where, and how to any goal increases follow-through by up to 91% across dozens of independent studies. 91. And the next reason is the one that can make all the clarity in the world still not be enough. Executive dysfunction. This one isn't about psychology. It's biology. On days you sleep well and aren't stressed, hard tasks feel manageable. On days you're running on bad sleep after a rough week, the same task feels impossible to begin. Same task, different brain. Executive function is the prefrontal cortex's ability to plan, initiate, and override impulses. Poor sleep, chronic stress, and high cortisol depleted, so the brain cannot override the limbic system's avoidance signal. When that happens, procrastination isn't a choice. It's a neurological outcome. You're not weaker on bad days. Your brain is at reduced capacity. One night of poor sleep reduces prefrontal cortex activity by up to 30%. That's not a metaphor. Sleep debt is a procrastination multiplier. And the last reason explains why all 7 keep coming back, even after you fix the rest. Identity mismatch. You've tried to be more productive before. It worked for a week, then you slipped back. Not because you lost willpower, because underneath, you still believe you're the kind of person who struggles with this. This is the one I mentioned at the start. The reason the other 7 keep coming back. The brain acts in line with who it believes you are. If your identity says I'm a procrastinator, avoidance is the expected behavior, not the exception. You can fix every other mechanism, but if the identity doesn't change, you circle back. Willpower doesn't override identity. Identity runs behavior. Get this, 43% of daily behavior is habitual, automatically triggered by context and identity, not conscious decision. Most of whether you work or avoid is decided before you even sit down. None of these are laziness. Each one is a specific mechanism with a specific weak point. Identity mismatch is the one at the root. The reason the others keep reinstating even after you fix them. Because behavior follows identity. You don't just change what you do, you change who you believe you are, and the rest adjusts. Which one felt most like yours? Drop it in the comments. You'd be surprised how many people are sitting with the same answer. Next video. Every defense mechanism the brain uses to protect itself, explained. If identity mismatch hit hardest, that one's for you. Subscribe so you don't miss it.